Can you tell me a place and time when your work ethic added value towards your team? Okay. As Natural Breaks is a charity that supports individuals with learning disabilities organisation, we were looking for an effective way of improving the streamlined operation of the organisation. Since we had a system procedure that the timesheets which account of specific information regards to hours of support with the relevant service user, absence and annual leave taken, is that we had to provide a log on which was instigated and initiated, was then implemented with my two other colleagues on reception, improving the efficiency by having a defined plan on which we shared duties of responsibilities of dealing with a large accumulation and influx of timesheets that had been submitted prior to each working month. The lateness and the adherence to submission date plays an important role in ensured that the monthly earning capacity, salary and amount were projected in their bank account, and that specific and failure in submission of the timesheet would have apprehendable effect on their financial circumstances of no monthly salary as a result. Me and my team discuss ideas on that every time session notes and timesheet expense accounts were logged and that it was stamped and placed in the blue tray and sorted into numeric and alphabetical order, logical order, and placed in the relevant support living and social learning slots. And we both shared ideas that the duties was dispatched evenly and fairly in accordance with the clear and shared objective on which was accountable. Other team members ensure copies were taken and placed in the relevant team coordinate service managers and high-level managers folders for the collation in relation to the supervisors and service managers, line managers, which have been notified through electronic mail in relation to the timesheets presence. I would be responsible for collating and collation and the log of timesheets through Microsoft Outlook, and that the timesheet that we had to deal with our system where we can verify the process and procedures are followed relevantly and accordingly. How my work added value was to have a shared approach to good collaborative nature and teamwork ethic, ensure clear and set objective met, ensure I meet to the requirements improvements due to other staff members' absence and unavailability. I will go above and beyond in using stewardship in supporting assisting the colleagues with her duties, ensure that she has management and organisation time, ensure other duties could be carried out as well. For support and assisting each other and ensure the complete process timesheets, ensuring that all timesheets are dealt with and does not have a significant impact that affects other responsibilities and other commitments, and the efficiency and streamline of the operation of the organisation for trust, mutual understanding and clear, concise communication through conferment of essential information, the negotiation of ideas and collaboration of sophisticated response on other colleagues' opinions, and shared objective of duties is dispersed uniformly and evenly to ensure that the task delivered high exceptional standard. Timesheet system is a very long and complicated process, and attention to detail and ensuring all relevant processes and mitigation of errors plays an important role in which good collaborative teamwork and shared and defined main objective maintain the streamlined operation and functionality of the system, ensure the success and the professionalism of business is projected positively and ethically in alignment of the business values of Natural Breaks. How have you implemented change to improve and streamline efficiency of process? Okay, I'm in record time negotiating, discussing with my senior colleagues, office manager, as a clerical assistant that supports individual challenging needs and being responsible for the verification and calculation of expenses for the reimbursement as the old process. I instigated that the old process was not working very efficiently, that the expense gets submitted in person, communicate electronic mail and delivered and received by mail. I had to check receipts and show that and inspect using my mathematical and numerical skills and includes good decision making skills to manually check the expenses, in which I had to double check which the process was slow, and me and my office manager discussed new ways of improving efficiency as there was an influx of expenses that the expenses were checked, had to be logged before summary report was typed up, communicated with the team coordinators and high-level managers, senior management team. This would cause some form of confusion and it'd be susceptible to errors and inaccuracies, and it will be less streamlined. I challenged the process of implementation of more efficient methods to streamline, on which instigated a divided expense template, on which I liaised and negotiated my ideas with my office manager, discussed new effective ways which was more adaptable to change and innovation, that using spreadsheets will increase the efficiency and between the great ethic and collaborative teamwork, with my support and her support and the guidance on the foundation and concrete of Microsoft packages, treating formats and the formulations and cells and columns of basic Excel functions, with developing my own personal development, adaptable to learning, and being enthusiastic to stay motivated in the creation of the expense template express spreadsheet, and divide a mathematical function using Excel logical arguments to compute the values of each cell. Eventually, with my determination and resilience, it was completed. The outcome positive and rewarding. Feedback from staff members and CEOs, which the newly devised expense template is situated on Natural Breaks staff portal, on which I was praised by the office manager, service manager, and the chief executive officer CEO. This improves the streamline of the function of Natural Breaks business, and that provides greater accessibility for staff members, enable a direct effect for accuracy and errors, and the correct amount gets recuperated by them and staff support workers, which benefit the finance department, ensure the right amount accumulates in their account each month. Seeks to improve results by applying review improvement methodologies to the work. Collaborates with colleagues both inside and outside the team to identify new and better ways of doing things. Looks for small improvement as well as major development to deliver ongoing benefit of the role in the team. Supports continuous improvement by putting forth practical, ethical, and viable suggestions and feasible solutions. Question 3. Interview question 3. Okay. Tell me. Tell me a time when you built great working relationships effectively for collaboration. I mean, recall a time when I worked at Natural Breaks organisation that supports individuals with challenging needs, and the newly arrived office has just commenced in the environment. She was unfamiliar with the operation, on which she gave a brief background, her experience through weeks of solid interaction, getting to know us colleagues better. I set out approach to build this relationship, on which I used my initiative to instigate conversation, initially slowly engage and build rapport with my office manager, understand her methodologies and ideas of how she operates certain things, and adapt to her approach of her working style. Being able to show initiative and approach her directly and ease her into the organisation, showing the support with her needs and requirements, negotiate and speak directly to her in a friendly manner, using adaptable to my verbal communication, using my interpersonal skills, and applying technical and language tenacities, terminologies, and gain her insight, and being able to integrate her ideas to improve the streamline and operation of the organisation. Have the patience to invest time and commitment to ensure that the success of the organisation was established between listening to the instructions that was directed to me and understand her approach and opinions. Working together collaboratively, built great working relationships between us, established new connections, and being able to adapt to learn new software, communicate effectively in email, and provide daily log of my duties, offer great feedback and instigation, slowly introduce myself with supervision, individual meetings that was organised, ensured that my approach was the right approach. She instigated through time, patience, and mutual understanding, communicate effectively. As a couple of months had elapsed, the work-related flow progressed, strengthened understanding and follow of her procedures, authorities, orders, and demands. Record time, me and my office might work collaboratively to ensure to mitigate risk. Me and ensure equipment, table, chairs, and other facility and practical instruments were placed in secure units. Through meeting and team meetings between service managers and team coordinators, ensure that facilities, equipment, furniture placed and stored in the appropriate section, help with the removal of waste and confidential waste which was stored in the green bags located around various parts of the department collated regarding the support of my office manager. I would ask for constructive feedback, ask for through supervision appraisals, ensure that I met my potential, adapted to her working style, which ensured great communication between all team members managed by the office manager. Question 4. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? Okay. My name is Alan Pang. I have graduated with a degree in numerical mathematical discipline at University of Liverpool, on which I previously clerical assistant of natural breaks that support individuals with challenging behaviour needs. As a clerical assistant, I'm responsible for maintaining the functionality reception, dealing with phone queries from service users and staff members, and directing the course to various members in the department. Reported to my office manager on a daily basis, provide a log of the duties I performed in the role, responsible for the calculations. I want to work for Barclays as a customer service. I want to work for Barclays as a business care manager, where I have ownership for personal responsibility and for monitor account transactions about fraud. Acting with the daily banking needs and requirements on helping them in the SLCs and applying for the service loan committee. I'm an empathetic. I have great interpersonal skills. I have great interpersonal skills and can communicate using effective channel, various audience, and leverage my knowledge and engaging effectively as a team player to build trust and rewarding working relations with other customer service advisors and team players. I have the resilience, perseverance, and motivation to succeed. Being adaptable and flexible in the banking environment, I will not be fazed by challenging situations, using initiative ideas to find balance of compromisable solutions in pressurized environments. I'm an empathetic individual, always put others first before my own. High attention to detail, quick learner to improve my ability to be an exceptional employee of Barclays Bank. Control environments include perform basic administrative duties, conduct further on their accounts. Commercially aware of digital service APIs, mobile, champion the advocacy of serve products that Barclays provide to its customers and support their current banking issues. Since we're organisations support individuals with challenging behaviours due to sensory needs, individuals may be susceptible and exploitation due to the environment, stimulates heightened sense of anxiety, which could cause discomfort and auditory needs. Engaging with the vulnerable, I love to advocate to provide greater perspective of people living on the autistic spectrum and to provide greater understanding and teaching others about others with vulnerable needs and train others with very vulnerable needs and identify susceptible using methods to deal with it accordingly. Since Barclays value the respect of all the forms of various backgrounds, I love to advocate for greater chance of employment and understanding and acceptance of individuals with certain vulnerable needs, deficit hyper disorder, physical, mental, and Barclays place equal agenda. So Barclays Just Valley can identify cultivate emerging talent, leads Barclays to grow as number one in financial and banking investment for customers and business holders of Barclays. Question 5. Okay. Customer obsessed. Tell me a time when customer instigated negative feedback, complaint due to level of dissatisfaction that was provided, which customer complaint was. Tell me a time when you encountered a customer complaining of poor service. Okay, I may recall time and natural breaks. When an individual approach the organisation in terms of standard and process, may recall it at the process of communication in regards to the employee, notices about the support workers' unavailability and the communication never came through from reception due to management of rota and change on which I remember service users were individuals due to certain circumstances may become irritated and may behave in an aggressive manner. Using derogatory language, I will remain composed and resilient in such escalating situations, act with integrity and to not damage the image and ethical status of the organisation, having overwhelming due to sensory and process issues on which she demanded the justification of the situation and low standard service and poor service we provide in the course of explanation behind the situation. Individuals on the auto spectrum experience a lot more emotionally understand and engage effectively. To calm the individual down in response to negative projection, organised use remain professionalism in communication of terminology that presented to the customer service. Users, external members ensure that authenticity of information verified and the information lies true and accountable to the third party member. I slowly built further insight and knowledge as a clerical assistant dealing, engaging with the exterior to remain professional at all times, engaging with individual with the needs and the reasons for her dissatisfaction, using serious escalation points, seek support from senior management, understand her circumstances and use intuition. Individuals, experienced law members, professionalism. To use slowly built further insight, engaging, seek support with senior integrity and dissatisfaction from use intuition and other initiatives, act with fairness on customer service users and service users and staff members, integrity and customer focus and act within the company's part on dealing with the service dissatisfaction. The service demanded on explaining to her into the communication between time and support act within controlled environment. I follow all procedures and through account of notification of sickness is that the correct service managers had to be informed on which are apologetic towards the situation. I was natural risk responsible in which provide accountability towards the inconvenience for actions and service on the unhappy service user behalf. Provide this information to the wrong service user who dealt with the situation. To have leadership qualities to provide only account for own personal responsibilities, which we use our own initiative negotiating skills whilst building our investment on engaging investment in time and communication adaptable to my approach and terminology, understand our perspective to ensure that this does not happen again, to put preventive mitigate the loss of communication. We have reception manuals with the relevant contacts and emails, which has to abide by the data protection regulation GDPR, prevent of access to sensitive and confidential information to third party members. To ensure the process and procedures are re-evaluated, that the email names was accurately presented on spreadsheet and reception manual with all the communication, and ensure the expectations were met where we deal with challenging situations on unpredictable outcome. Ensure we are customer focused, that we always act on their behalf of the company's best interest, to find and seek underlying cause to the situation, find ramifications and prevention measure plans to ensure the actions and results is mitigated, to ensure the stewardship act above beyond investment communication with the service users, and ensure that all communication names are accurately presented and monitor of service users, that the time of support, so verbal communication between the service managers and team coordinators in the social learning department, ensure not further issues were reported and all service users are ranked specifically. I'm pleased that the other support worker got noticed on right time of support and destination support, and which she thanked me for. As a customer service, as a business care manager, I will ensure that the customer clients always dealt with. We provide admin duties onto all contacts are up to date and the correct financial information provided on dealing with the inquiries and escalation points, which abides by the service loan agreement SLA, and accurately presented in basic admin. We would deal with challenging customers with very vulnerable needs and financial difficulties with challenging behaviours. Maybe a tone of voice, have the service, good responsive listener, understand the situation, act with integrity, being fair on the customers, clients and representative, mitigate the damage and cause and the representation of Barclays as a whole. Oh yeah. Can you tell me a time when you recommended digital channel to support a customer, peer, or colleague? Okay. On Natural Breaks, I may recall a time when an external customer, which spoke on a dual and enthusiastic manner, was delighted about hearing about our service and the service provided for individual challenging needs and circumstances. She instigated on the opinions and viewpoints of the service of Natural Breaks and what Natural Breaks offers. Natural Breaks is a charitable status organisation that caters for support, living side and social on the development using my expertise and persuasive skills in communicating my ideas across being customer focused on using the terminology and explaining of the customer's history and service that the charity organisation provides to people and gather further insight, understand the approach to the business and the qualities and procedures to safeguard and protection of vulnerable individuals. Providing ownership and education about service of the organisation. I initiated the application and access to digital interventions, the entice and portray the newly appointed service user family members to approach new defined specific website, Natural Breaks Twitter, Natural Breaks' own personal website, which collaborates divided by our team communications officer, in which they offers the service to people we support and understand different digital platform web applications, company messaging can generate and support or accumulating further insights into the company. Maybe advocate about the service that Natural Breaks provide and how we support families and the wider network and advocating upon awareness of individuals with learning disabilities and autism spectrum disorders, mental and physical health needs, children and adolescents. Adolescents and adolescents in further insight, vulnerable protection, further adolescents and communicating, maybe advocate about service naturally provide and how we support families and the wider network in advocating upon awareness individuals with learning disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, mental and physical health needs for children and adults, and advocate these websites to make individuals aware of the organisation structure, the service and options that are available, and the resource and information about the foundation and background information and recent events held for improved service that the to community, including steering club, e.g. holidays that organisation and the charitable events that are held. Helping staff members resolve issues like staff portals, which are positively and management and staff management and rotas, which are displayed on the staff portal in the Natural Breaks website, which just keeps staff members and service users and clients updated with the vital and important information with communicating, conveyed and demonstrated its potential for a digital interaction via website and Natural Breaks. Service that's provided will provide you with the most specific information that directed to the site and the type of activities, daily logs and staff membership that could be accessed. Informally delayed updates or activities could be communicated through taking place. As a customer business care manager, I will liaise with all my potential clients on the business about the financial impact and the type of loans to choose on. Advocating Barclays application digital software and website available. Customer might suspect of fraud or certain financial difficulties, and the information can be promoted and website essential information protect Barclays clients and stakeholders from defamation against maybe fraud, financial difficulties involved. Barclays of all the service that Barclays promotes to its customers and small business client holders with less than 400,000 in revenue. Question 6. Can you tell me a time when you when a customer challenge your viewpoint or a team member challenge your viewpoint and how you changed it? Okay, I'm going to recall a time a Natural Breaks in which the new expense policy system being introduced, and there was tension between the new expense policy being implemented by staff members. The new expense policy at work, there was a disagreement with the new system as a clerical system responsible. The calculation expense of my task was to ensure and convince the staff members that the new process would pay implementation, but the new process had to align with the values of Natural Breaks, that the mileage recuperate coincide with the travel reimbursement cost, that the expense was authorised by service managers and senior management team. There were few staff members' disagreement using my intuition and initiative, and engaged effectively using effective and convincing communication using my interpersonal skills and terminology, taking account of feedback on other members' opinion form, compromise using my mathematical argument. There was a balance and fair judgment and conjunction with relation. The amount that can be recuperated for the reimbursement cost for which supports workers on natural breaks, and which using logical argument that you could exceed the certain capped value on which had to be conjunction relative to the proportional cost of travel. Bus tickets with mileage, for example, can only be reimbursed for £4.50 travel, which mileage cost for transportation could not exceed the amount of £4.50. Staff member agreed with my decision on fairness process and new expense policy on COO, and service managers were pleased as well as the outcome. Thank you.